Okay, so this is the second part, and what we did here, what we are going to do here is the head, which looks like this. You can use both of them. You can either move it yourself or follow the bone. In the third part, we're going to make so that you can only use one of them, because using both can lead to a lot of problems like these. Also, a little bit more advanced, but not really, for the arms, which you can attach it to the hips or one of the spines here, for example, like this. When you move the hips, it moves both arms. But then you can do something like this, which is pretty cool, which now it's attached to this. In the third part, also I'll use drivers so that you can pick which one of these with a slider, and you can do something like this, which is pretty cool. Also, modifiers for the heel bone, so you can do this. And now let's go to the video. Okay, so let's continue here. We will start with the head because it's pretty simple, and just copy this bone and name it head look. It can be anything you want, but I'm gonna name it head look. Now go to the pose mode, and the modifier, everything is right here. It's going to follow the head here. Now grab the head bone, the original bone, which is going to be exported, and delete the track here. You can see this is the bone that we want. Now pick copy rotation and select the rig and the head look. Now in the mix, you pick add. Now choose local space and local space. Now you can control the original head rotation and through the guide bone here. In the next episode, I'll show you how to use only one method, because it can get pretty complicated when animating with both of them. So just having one of them, but you can choose between using both of them at the same time instead of just using one. It's better. I'll show you in the next episode. So now move the head look to the any other layer there is in the first one. This one can stay here. Now for the arms. Now this one is pretty complicated, because when you move this one, it doesn't move the arms, but sometimes you want it to move the arms. You could do this, and it would be just about what you want. But what if you wanted to move the hips with the arms? It would look pretty weird unless you did this. Select the pivot point is the cursor point here, and rotate it. But it can get pretty annoying if you're the animator. You don't want your animator to do this. You want him to animate the character, not busy with shortcuts here. So you want the pivot point to be one here. When you move this, it moves the arms with it like this, or you could want it here, or about here when you move this one. So go, it's actually pretty simple to do. Just pick child off, and child off, and just parent it to this one to the second spine. I'm going to go from top to bottom, and now select clear inverse and set inverse. Now when you move this, it moves the hands too. We're going to do the same thing for this pull target, both of them, and the other hand. If you want to, you can do this for the feet, but I don't feel like doing it. I think it's not very worthy And now do the same thing, but for the spine number 1, clear inverse, set inverse, and now, and you see that first I'll finish the hips here, and I'll just parent it to the hips. Clear inverse, set inverse, and it's done. Now you see that it's the hand here is copying the 3 bones, the rotations, which is not what you want, but we can't fix this problem in this episode. I don't know. I'll do it in the next video, where we will use drivers to select which bone you want to copy the rotation, if it's from this one or this one or this one. Now, for now, you can either select here the influence of each bone. Let's see this. You can select, where is it? It's here. You can select the influence, but for now, for each bone, 0, it's not going to be affected by the bone, and 1, obviously, it's 100% being controlled by the bone. But now I'll just disable like 2 of these, all of these if you want to. Now I'll just pick the spine here for now, just for now. You don't need to worry with this. If you want to, you can already disable it. Now select these 3 bones here, and now select the hand, which we just applied the modifiers. Click here, top here, pose, and constraints, and copy constraints to selected bones. And now I'm not sure if I'll have to do this. Wait just a minute. I don't think there is anything else to do here. Everything's fine. Now I'll parent everyone to the spine too. And now, if everything is working, it should rotate with arms. And it looks pretty good. It looks like a robot. Look at this. And you can do the same thing for the feet, but I don't think it's worthy now. I don't think it's necessary. And it can be pretty useful if you want to do something like this. And let's see here. Let's say if I pin it to the hips, just this. Now when I move it, it's doing a dance. A pretty silly dance. Okay, so now let's finish the feet, and we need to copy these bones here. And this one. Now press Shift D, duplicate them, and press M to move them to the 3rd layer here. Now select it here, and just do this minor change. And okay, now there is a lot of things that we want to do here. We want to basically, wait, we want to, no, don't do this. What am I doing? Okay, so we want to move this bone here so that the toes don't move. Yeah, it's pretty weird. So now just create another bone here. It needs to point to the same direction. This one is going to the y-axis, and this one is pointing to the y-axis too. So basically parent this one to this one. For now, I need to remember how to do this. And let me see here, so that, by the way, go back to this bone and instead select it to, the target needs to be this bone now. Foot copied left 001. This here. Now when you move this bone, see, it does what we want to do, which is move it into this direction. Now we don't want to rotate this bone. Instead, we want to rotate this one. It needs to move this one. Now parent this bone to this one, and this one to this one, and I think that might do what we want. Kinda. Or it kind of does what we want. So now parent this one to this one to this one. It's kind of complicated. But it's already parented, so we want to move it like this. So don't parent it to this one for now, and set a copy rotation constraint. Select it, and what's its name? It's foot target left 001. Foot target left 001. So now it does what we want. It's almost finished. If it wasn't for this, we just need to limit the rotation, which is limit rotation. It's the local y x axis. Select here local space for transform and set it to about 80, 90, or 85. It can be whatever you want. Oops, it's this one. It's positive, not negative. Now it's pretty much finished, this part. Now we just wanted to move the bone in this direction, and you can do it like this. Select here like this, and like this and this. Now I need my object back to just so that I can see where I'm using these bones. It can be here and this one here. Now I'll parent. Okay, now this is going to get a little bit complicated. This one to this one, and this one to this one, and this one to this one. I think that's it. No, it's not. It's this one to this one thing, and this one to this one, and yes, that's it. So now what you need to do is we're going to copy the local y-axis. So just one thing I need to do here, which is wait a minute, just see if there is anything to change here. It's for now not anything to change. Now this bone here needs to copy. Now it's a lot of copy rotations to accomplish this. So I'll start with this one, which is copy rotation and limit rotation. Already know that both of these are 0, but this one I think it's positive. Yes, it's positive. I'll put 35. It's this one. 35. This one is 0. 35. I'll put it 45. For transform, don't forget about it. And local space. Now this one, select the rig. Now I need to remember the name of the bone, which is foot target left 001. Now it is copying the rotation and limiting the rotation too, which is what we want. Now just one thing, which is, let me see if I'm doing this right again, which is offsetted to this one. Wait. And it's just one thing, which is limit the rotation of this bone to local space and select this to 0, 0, 0, which with the exception of local X. And for transform, it's already doing what we want. Okay, something's wrong here. I just need to find out what is going on here. And it's disabled. I didn't notice it. Now it should be working fine. Yes, it's working fine. Now select this one and this one, and now copy the constraint again. It should almost be working, except that I need to change the limitations to negative. Negative 45, 0. And it should be working. Just get out of my way. Now it's working. And I think that's almost it. Just a little few things that we want to change. Look at this. Let's see if everything's working fine here. Everything seems to be working just fine. Now one thing that I want to change, which is actually place the toe bone here in the actual right place. Now everything's working fine as it should. Now what we want to do is copy the rotation of the. Now what we want to do is just copy the rotation here. Now it's going to get a little bit complicated, but let's see what we have to do here. Delete this. No, actually don't delete it, but go to the second layer and delete the original, this one. Now delete this one. I'll keep this one. This one can go. And now select both layers, this one and this one. And now it's going to get a little bit just more complicated. Oh, a whole lot. Select the, what's going on here? Is it parented to the, what bone? Is it? Okay, so select both of these, and I just want to like apply it to the right place. What am I doing? Why is it not following? What's the relation? What's going on? I see what's going on. Now just select this bone in this one and select this. Everything's fine now. Speaking of which, this copy can go, and this and this. Okay, so now it's going to get. Now we need to rename the bone so that nothing gets complicated here. Let's go to this part here and name it foot copy left, which we need to copy this one, and these bones we don't need to see them. Select this one, this, and this, and move them to the first layer. In the third layer, this one can go, this one can go, this one can be deleted too. Now select this one, this, and this, and now move it to the first layer. Now we have both the toes here. I'll just name this photos copy. And now we need to copy the rotation of the copy bone again. And now I need to hide this one, if this one can be hidden now. The toe, we select the original one and copy rotation of the copy bone. Here. Now move it to another layer so that we don't need to see it anymore. And just let me see. It's almost working. Okay, so now select here foot, copy left. Okay, it's almost finished. Just need to do this, which I forgot, which is parent this bone to go back to this one where you can see those 3 bones, and parent it to this, I think. Yes, that's what we had to do. And it's working just as we want. Now go to the first layer, and that's pretty much it for the feet. Just need to, now we need to, I completely forgot about this part, which is symmetrize it again. Armature, symmetrize, and do the same thing again, which I'm just going to skip. Okay, just one thing before I continue with the time lapse is I need to invert the values of this modifier to be inverted, I think. Instead it needs to be -45 and this one needs to be 45, and it's fixed. Now it's finished.